Hello, welcome to Boardgame TV. Hope your day's going good. And we're going to play a new game today, Dicemasters, the WWE version. Dicemasters is made by WizKids. They came out with this game a couple years ago. There's Marvel Marvel Dicemasters, DC, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I think a couple others. I think this is the newest one to come out. Now, I've never really been into Dicemasters. I had a bad experience with it a little bit after it came out a couple years ago. I was at a board game store and some idiot came in and bought up all the Dicemaster packs and stuff, and he's going to resell them on eBay, and he tried to get me to play with him a little bit so he could try it to get me interested, so I would buy them at an inflated price off of him, and I was just ugh. But however, this game's gone on for a while. I thought I'd give it a chance. It is very popular, so you know, I had a few extra dollars lying around, and so I went for it. Now, the reason I went for the WWE version is because, one, it's something different. I've got superhero stuff galore, but recently WWE has made strides and kind of got their Dicemasters thing. They got some hero clicks out now, so I thought I would go with WWE. And I'm a big fan of the WWE/WWF. I grew up when Hulkamania was big in the 80s. Loved wrestling then. Kind of died down a little in the mid-90s. Always loved The Undertaker, though. He was always my favorite. And then, of course, when the Attitude Era came around with WCW and the formation of the New World Order and the Monday Night Wars between WWF and WCW, every Monday night I was tuned to my TV switching channels to see when WCW would go on a commercial break, I put it on WWF. WWF went on a commercial break, I put it on WCW. If you never got to live the Monday Night Wars, I feel sorry for you, because you're truly missing a piece of history. If you love wrestling and you weren't around in them Monday Night Wars, man, that was some great times. That was it was fantastic. You wanted to be home on Monday nights, period. You had to be home on Monday nights. And I've actually met a lot of these wrestlers from my past occupation in real life, and they were all really nice. And so I've kind of been a fan of it on and off, but then recently I got the, about 2016, I kind of got back into it again. And what really got me going with it was the women's evolution going on. I really enjoyed the women's aspect of wrestling. I thought it was getting much better than the men and the storylines they were having and all the characters and everything. And so then I recently got the WWE Network, and man, that's a great deal. $9.99 a month, and you get everything from ever. From WCW, from WWF, all the TV shows, all the past pay-per-views, all the way back to when the damn company first came about. And you get all the pay-per-views for free. I was surprised I don't charge $20 a month for that thing, because I watch it all the time. So I love the WWE. Shame they had to change their name. So I decided to give it a go with this Dicemasters. Now, I do have two big complaints, and I want to get them right off the bat right now. And one of them's really big, and it really pissed me off. The first complaint is whoever wrote the instruction booklet needs to be fired. The instruction booklet reads like stereo instructions. It's terrible. It's hard to understand. They don't have all the keywords. They even tell you, hey, for more rules, look up on our website. Well, that right there is atrocious. That's inexcusable. So that really ticked me off. And that makes this game harder to understand as it is. The second one is they want you to buy more than one base set. And I'm going to give you an example. I have a couple character cards, and every character can have 4 dice. And every character has their own unique set of dice. However, the box set, let's say I have Charlotte Flair here. I have 3 of her dice. Doesn't come with 4 dice, it comes with 3. And they do this for most of the characters. Some of them on CJ's stuff only come with 2 dice. Now I bought the base set and the 2 little small expansion packs. And yes, you do get a good value for it. This base set was maybe like 30 bucks, and expansion packs a piece were like 10 bucks. But for you to cheap out and not give me all the dice I need really ticks me off. I mean, that really pissed me off, and I don't know if I'm going to support this company anymore after this. They're going to have to do something about that. That's just ridiculous. Because, or sell the dice separately in a dice pack or something. Because why would I need 2 base sets? All I'm missing is a few dice here or there. They could have charged me $5 and included all the dice. It's not like the dice are these great custom-made specialty out of control dice. These are just smaller dice with the symbols engraved in them, and just about every character comes up short of 4 dice. And all the basic action dice, you only get 3 when you can have 4. Okay? I'm sorry, no, that's wrong. There's 3 of those, but so they do come with all of them. But all the characters there's a lot of characters with both expansion packs, and I think maybe only 5 at the most all have their 4 dice. And 2, you're saying? Only 2? Okay, that's pathetic. And you got what, 30 something characters? If maybe even more. So that really ticked me off. And I'm sure they probably do it with the other base sets as well. And that that's inexcusable. That's just pure greed. Hey, I know you got to make money. Charge $5 extra. Put all the dice in there. Don't do this crap where you got to make me buy another set, because that's ridiculous. And until that happens, I'm not buying another Dicemasters game. They could come out with the Dicemasters Ghost Rider game, and if you know part of my channel, you know Ghost Rider is my favorite superhero. It's just exclusive Ghost Rider stuff in it, and I still wouldn't buy it because if they cheaped out on the dice like that, which I didn't know when I bought the box set. You know, I didn't know they were going to do that, and that again, that really ticks me off. And so if you're a stickler like that, like I am, I would not recommend buying this set. However, if you don't care about that and you buy it, well, and you like WWE, this would be a good game to get. But honestly, yeah, I'm not buying any more from them until they start doing that stuff. Fantasy Flight's been doing that crap lately, and they kind of ticked me off with that on their living card or their card games and stuff, so I can't stand that. I just cannot stand that. But that's Dicemasters. So we're going to go over, me and CJ are going to be playing a basic game, and we're going to go over the setup. Okay? Now the game, you get a little paper mat, which they have play mats for, and this is your area where you're going to put your dice and stuff in. They have big play mats for, which are pretty cool, but again, I'm not supporting any more, so I'm not going to spend the extra 20 to 30 bucks to pay for those until WizKids gets their priorities straight. The game comes with a dice bag, which I guess is alright. It's kind of like a hard, sturdy paper bag you put your dice in and you draw your dice out of. Every character, every player is going to start out with 8, and these are called 8 sidekick dice. Okay? You have 8 sidekick dice, and on each die you have a shield, a mask, a lightning bolt, a fist, a question mark, and a little pawn. Now all these symbols right here, the lightning bolt, the fist, the shield, the mask, are all energy types. The question mark is wild. You can make it any energy type. Okay? And then this little pawn here is when you attack. I know it's not going to make sense now, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. But it costs 0 cost. You have 3 numbers here. This costs 0 cost to field this dice. So when you field a die, you have to pay the cost and you put it in your field zone. But this costs 0, so you don't have to pay any energy cost to field this die. And you use the energy to buy your character dice. So like Charlotte Flair costs, to buy a die off of her character costs 4 energy, but at least one of the energy symbols has to be a lightning bolt. Sasha Banks here, it costs 2 energy to buy one of her die, and one of her dice has to be a shield, and so on with Becky Lynch and Asuka. So this is the attack damage this thing does, and this is the defense. So if this die were to attack CJ and he couldn't block it, it would do 1 damage. If he's attacking and I'm using this die to block, well, I have a 1 defense for that. And that's basically how the dice reads. So you pick 4 characters. Now the game comes with 3 cards for each character, and each character is exactly the same except for a few things. The game came with 3 Becky Lynch cards, and I choose one of them. And the only real difference between the Becky Lynch cards is the abilities listed on the card. Each have a little different ability. Everything to do with the dice are the same, and sometimes it may cost a little bit more. So like the other 2 Becky Lynch cards may cost 5, and one other one may cost 3. So you get to choose which one you want, and I chose my 4 characters. And since I love the women wrestlers, I got Asuka, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte Flair, the Queen. And then this card right here, basically, excuse me, this tells you how much to buy a die costs. This tells you what kind of symbol you need in your, as far as energy symbol, to at least have one of them to buy a die. This shows all the faces of the die, so you don't have to worry about it. And then this is their special ability. Her special ability is Intimidate. When fielded, remove target opposing superstar die from the field zone until end of turn. Place it next to your superstar card. So that means if CJ were to have a die in his field zone that was a superstar, and I fielded her, and I paid the cost and fielded her, then that Intimidate would let me take his die out of the field zone, and he couldn't use it for that turn. However, there's also a negative connotation to it. When fielded, target opposing sidekick die gets +1 attack until end of turn. I have Becky Lynch, Overcrush, which is an ability which is basically saying that when Becky Lynch attacks, like she has a 7 attack, if CJ were to block here with Sasha Banks, she has a 3 defense, so 7 minus 3 is 4. Normally when an attack and a block happens, both dice kind of negate each other and no damage is done to CJ. However, the Overcrush lets the remaining damage from that affect CJ, so he would take 4 damage. Then she has a global ability. Global abilities on cards, some character cards have them, some basic action cards have them, and basically what global ability is, anybody can use it. So even though this is my character card, CJ can use this global ability if he pays the cost. It says pay 1 shield. The first die you purchase this turn is added to your prep area instead of your used pile. Okay. Then we have Sasha Banks. She costs 2 for shield. She has Infiltrate. When this superstar die is unblocked, you may return this die to the field zone and it deals your opponent 1 damage. When KO'd, when knocked out, prep a die from your bag. And then we have Charlotte Flair. She costs 4 and a lightning bolt. When Charlotte Flair superstar die damages your opponent, gain 1 life. Okay, so each of us have 20 life in a basic game. The goal is to destroy your opponent by reducing their life to 0. So CJ's goal is to get my life down from 20 to 0, and my goal is to get CJ's life down from 20 to 0. The first one who does it wins. And basically what we're going to be doing is rolling dice, recruiting dice, or trying to purchase dice from our thing so we can have it and keep re-rolling and growing more and more dice. Now we're going to come over to CJ's heroes. Now he got Mankind, the Deranged. He costs 4 energy to purchase and a mask. One has to be a mask. It says each of your Mankind superstar dice get +1 attack for each of your sidekicks in the field zone. He picked Kane, Brother of Destruction. Kane only has 2 dice because they cheaped out, and I don't have the full 4. While Undertaker's active, each year active Kane Superstar die get +3 attack and +3 defense and Overcrush. He costs 5 energy and it has to be a mask. He's got Sting, the NWO Wolfpack. Tag out. After blockers are declared, you may prep this die from the field zone to give target superstar die +2 attack and +2 damage until the end of the turn. And then we have, of course, the Undertaker, the greatest wrestler in history. 6 energy to cost, 1 shield. He only has 2 die. When fielded, you may move a superstar or sidekick die from your used pile to the field zone at level 1. And then we have our action cards. Now there's 4 basic action cards. As you can tell, there's this little thing, and one action card is going to have orange, we're going to have a blue, we're going to have a red and purple. And a Moment of Bliss is the first action card here. It costs 3 energy to purchase one of the die. This turn you may remove blocked attackers from combat before damage is dealt. We have Jerry the King Lawler, ringside announcer. Costs 4 energy to purchase one of his die. All blocked and blocking superstars deal double damage this turn. He has a global ability, so anybody can use it. It says pay a fist. Target blocked or blocking superstar deals double damage. Use this ability only once per turn. And we have Money in the Bank. 4 energy to buy one of the die. Choose target attacker. If that attacker damages the opponent this turn, draw and roll 3 dice. If the attacker is unblocked and would go to the use pile, prep them instead. And then we have Walk with Elias. He's the purple. It costs 3 to buy one of his die. Secretly draw 1, 2, or 3 dice from your bag. If your opponent guesses the number of dice you drew, put them into your used pile. Otherwise, prep them. And there's a global ability for him, and it says pay a mask. Once per turn, on your turn, add 2 psychic dice from your used pile to your prep area. So that's actually a pretty good ability. Now the basic action die are a little different. They have these 2s on there, and that's how much energy. It's basically any type of energy that you can add to it. So you get 2 energy. Now it doesn't specifically have a symbol. So if all you had was this, you couldn't purchase anything because you usually need a symbol to purchase something. And then these little exclamation points, and then somehow we have one with 2 stars on the bottom. We have just one big exclamation point. We have one with a small one on the bottom. Those let you do the abilities on the card. Okay, that's what they do. So if we are rolled and I got the exclamation point, I can do the ability on that card. Okay, so let's see what else. So that is set up. So what you do is you take all 8 of your sidekick dice and you put them in your dice bag. Now, however, we did forget. Let's look at a hero die. Now, any superstar die, of course, will have some energy symbols on it. As you can see, Charlotte will have 3 different sides with energy symbols on it, and then she has sides with her combat, defense, or attack, defense, and her how much it costs to fill the die. As you can see, they're not the same. If you look real closely, if it rolls on this side, this is the stronger version of her, where it costs 1 to field, 5 attack, and 4 defense. Okay. This is the weaker version of her, and then of course these are the energy. So we're going to get set up. Now there's a rule in the book that says the first player, when he starts his first turn, what's going to happen is he's only going to roll 3 die. So what you would normally do is you put all 8 die in your dice bag, and I'm going to be the first player. So CJ, I'll be the first player of this game. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put all my die in my dice bag, and then I'll draw 4 die. Now, however, because of this special rule, and we'll go over the steps we have to do as well, but because of the special rule, I'm automatically going to put 1 die in my used pile, and I can only roll 3 die this first turn since I'm the first player. Normally, I get to roll 4 die most of the time, but for this first turn, I only get to roll 3 die. So let me pull out the rule book and we'll go over step by step what we need to do. Okay, so now we're first ready to go. So the first phase on a turn, and again I'm doing this off the book. This book is garbage. You probably want to watch somebody on YouTube play the game to learn better.
Not us.
Yeah. Alright, so a turn consists of the following. Any abilities that take place at start of your turn. Well, I don't have any. So the first step is you have the clear and drag step. And that means move all energy dice from your reserve pool to your used pile. Draw 4 dice from your bag. Refill it from the used pile if necessary. Okay, well, and we'll get into that in a second. Now, obviously, we won't be doing that on the first turn. So there we go. So the next step is the roll and re-roll step. We roll 4 dice. In this case, I'll roll 3. You drew, plus any in your prep area. Well, we don't have any dice in our prep area. Re-roll at least once any of those dice that you wish. I have to accept the second roll. So I'm going to go ahead and roll these dice. Okay, that's not too bad. I have a fist, a wild, and a mask. Okay, now I am at my main step. A player may do these as many times they like in any order. Field superstar dice. Well, I don't have any superstar dice yet to field, so we won't be doing that. Use action dice. Place them out of play when finished. Purchase dice by paying energy equal to the cost. Place them in your use pile. Both players can use global abilities and inactive players after priority passes. So that means I would get to do global ability first if I had the thing in my reserve pool to do it. But since this is the first turn, we won't be doing that. At the end of this step, move any unfielded superstar dice to the used pile. Okay, then I could attack, and we'll get into that when we're able to do that. But right now I'm not able to attack because I don't have any dice letting me attack. And then we have the cleanup stage. So we'll kind of skip the attack step right now. So I have this. Now I have 2 options. I actually have 3 options. Well, I have 2 options. Now, seeing with what I rolled, I could turn this wild into a shield and buy for 2 energy one Sasha Banks die. Or I can come over here and I have a mask, and there's a mask, and spend this 3 energy and buy 1 Oscar die. Or I can spend those 3 die and buy a Moment of Bliss action or a Walk with Elias action. That's basically all I can do this turn. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to spend these 3 dice, and then they're going to go into my used pile now. As you can see, you have your used pile here. And I'm going to buy 1 Oscar die. And she goes in my used pile. And then we would have the cleanup step, which we don't have that this first turn. It basically ends all effects and clear all damage. Move any unused action die to your used pile. In turn, move dice from out of play to the used pile. Okay, and so that's basically my turn. CJ, you're going to go. So CJ is going to go now. He gets a turn. So he grabs his 4 die out of the dice bag. He rolls. And this is what he rolled. Now he can either re-roll or do what he wants to do. So CJ, we're going to let you decide. What do you think you're going to do?
I'm going to buy Sting.
Okay, so Sting costs 3 energy, and Sting can either be a mask or a shield. So he's going to buy, you're going to spend these 3 to buy Sting?
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure you're going to field that, right? Okay, so he spends these 3 to buy a Sting die. So he puts that in his use pile. Now he has what you call a sidekick. And basically, he can field this for free because it doesn't cost anything to field. So he puts it in his field zone. Now he has a decision to make. He can either attack me with this, causing 1 damage, or he can leave it here to be a blocker in case I try to attack him the next turn or the turn after that. It is up to him. So CJ, what are you going to do?
Attack.
CJ will attack me. So because he attacks me, I do not have anybody to block. So I'm going to take 1 damage. And that means when he attacks with any die and the die is unblocked, it goes straight to your used pile. So this dice will now go back to his used pile. He does 1 damage on me. So now his score is 20-19. And that is the end of CJ's turn. Okay, so now I will start. And I will grab 4 die. And I'll roll it. Okay. So let's see what I have here. Well, I'm kind of in the same predicament here. If I wanted to, I could try to re-roll this, which I think I'm going to do, because I'm going to go for a Becky Lynch die. And I can get it as long as I don't roll that. Oh my God, today is not my day. Okay, well, I can't buy a Becky Lynch die because she costs 4 energy. However, I can buy another Oscar die because she needs a mask energy, and I can turn that wild into mask. And or I can buy a moment of I'm going to send this to my used pile, and I'm going to buy another Oscar. So I buy another Oscar die, and it goes in my used pile, and I'm going to field them, and I am going to attack with him. CJ, as you can see, has no dice blocking, so he's going to take 1 damage. So the score is now 19-19, and now it is the end of my turn. So CJ will get to go, and he'll draw his 4 die.
That's pretty good stuff. Okay, I'm going to use the global action for
Walk with Elias?
Well, actually, I'm gonna buy Mankind.
Okay, alright. So, as you can see, Mankind costs 4 energy, and one of them has to be a mask, which CJ just spent, and he bought him a Mankind die, and now it goes in his used pile.
Mankind has high defense.
Okay.
Attack.
So now my dice bag is empty. I don't have any dice. It's my turn. I don't have any dice in the bag. So what I'm going to do is I put all my dice in my used pile in my bag. So now I have a whole new thing of dice. Shake them up, and I'm going to draw 4 die. There we go, 4 die. Alright, so I rolled. Ooh. It's not too bad. Not exactly what I wanted. Okay, actually, this is kind of cool. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 2 energy and buy a Sasha Banks. She costs 2, and one of them has to be a shield. As you can see, one of them is a shield. So I will buy a Sasha Banks, and there we go. Now I have, ooh, wait a minute. Nope, I screwed that up, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I did screw that up. I forgot about a step here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-roll this one. Okay, that's better. Okay, now I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend my 2 to buy a Sasha. And I have to spend this 1 energy to field this Oscar die, because this Oscar die costs 1 to field. And now I have a decision. Will I leave her in the field zone and attack CJ, or leaving the field zone to be a blocker? Or will I use her to attack CJ? If I leave her in the field zone to block, she'll stay right here on this piece of paper until I do something with her. However, if I attack with her, she will go to, he won't be able to block. She'll go to unblock and she'll go to the used pile. But I'm going to play aggressively. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attack CJ with Asuka. No one is ready for Asuka. There you go. My favorite female.
It's the face hiders versus the people who don't look at the camera.
So he cannot block because he has no blockers here. She does, as you can see, 2 damage. So CJ is now at 17. And what, I'm at 19?
Yeah.
So it's 17 to 19. And that is the end of my turn. That's all I can do. Now, as you can see, CJ has no dice in his dice bag. So he's going to put all his dice in his dice bag. And we'll come to what happens, because it'll come up, to what happens if you only have like 1 or 2 dice in your dice bag. Okay, CJ, roll your die.
You really shouldn't have been able to read on time, but whatever. It don't matter. I could buy another mankind, but I think I'm gonna get a cane.
Okay. Now, if CJ wanted to, he could buy a cane if he wants to, or he could re-roll this sting die to hopefully get a face on there to where he'll be able to attack me. But as it is now, he has 5 energy. And cane costs 5 energy, and at least one of them have to be a mask. So it's up to him on what he wants to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy
a cane?
Yeah.
Okay, so
building up my
yeah, I see. So he buys a cane and he puts it in his used pile. Okay. Well, now it's my turn. So I have 2 die left in my bag. I'm going to tell you what we do next turn when I have to choose my die. So let's roll my die here. Okay, again here. I'm thinking about, I'm going to re-roll this one. Okay. Alright, so this is what I rolled. I rolled another Asuka. I think I will pay 2. See? And buy another Sasha Banks. And the fist, I really can't do anything what? See, now I have that global, but
you could field Asuka.
I know I could field Asuka with it, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to field Asuka. I have to spend that 1 energy to field her. This time, as you can see, she does 1, 3, and 3. Now, what's the score, CJ? 19, 17?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to attack you with Asuka. He has no blockers out here, so he will take 3 damage. So, since he's unblocked, she will go to my use pile, and the score is now
14-19.
19 to 14. Okay, CJ. CJ, he has plenty of dice in his dice bag, so. CJ's going to roll. And this is what his roll is.
I'm going to re-roll Mankind.
He's going to re-roll Mankind. Okay, well, that didn't work out too well for him. He has to accept the second result. But he does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy. He could buy another cane if he wanted to.
That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend the walk with Elias and feel trapped to my
Alright.
peeps. And then I'm going to buy a sting.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm going to buy Mankind.
Okay, he's going to buy Mankind.
Mankind.
Okay, so he buys Mankind. Now, this is their prep area. And what this means is these dice are ready to be rolled. So next turn, when CJ would roll 4 die, he would also get to roll these 2 extra dice. So he would get to roll 6 die next turn. Okay, so it is my turn. As you can see, I only have 2 die in my dice bag. Okay, and the rest of my die are in my use pile. So what I'll do is I'll take these 2 die out. These 2 have to be rolled this turn. Then I'll take all my die that is in my used pile and put them in my dice bag. Shake them up, and then I'll pick 2 new dice out of there to roll. Ooh, bless you, buddy.
Thanks.
Okay, what's the score?
14-19.
14-19, okay.
Once I get my mankind on the field, you won't be able to.
Alright, here we go again.
This is the phase where CJ gets constant.
Okay, that's really not a great roll. I don't think there's any lightning global effects, is there? Nope, there is not. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to pay 1 to field Oscar, and this guy gets fielded for free. And I can really do nothing with this die, so this guy I go in my use pile. And so now I'm going to attack CJ with both of these die. And as you see, Oscar does 2, this sidekick does 1. So that would be 3 damage. He has no blockers. So now you take 3 damage. So
11 health, 19.
19 to 11. These 2 go in my used pile. And so I'm whittling away at CJ little by little while he tries building up his thing. Whether or not what strategy will work, who knows. Okay, so CJ has 2 die in his dice bag. He's got to put all the other die back in his used pile, back in his dice bag. He's going to shuffle them up, and he's going to draw 2 new die.
God.
Why don't you just reach your hand in there? Okay, well that's fine. That's 2 die. So now he has them, and then plus he has the 2 that he had in his prep area. So he has a total of 6 dice he can roll. Alright, so this is what he has. Ooh, he has a whole lot of something.
I have an army. Okay. Well, jig's up, man. Can't attack at me for this much. I'm going to spend. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the fist to put Sting on the field. Get these 2 guys on the field.
Okay.
And I'm with these 2. These 2 I'm going to do nothing. Or wait, can I put this in the used pile and then use this to
Do the walk with Elias global ability? Pay 1 mask once per turn? Yes, you can. So what he's talking about is this die, he's going to do this, is going to go in the used pile. There's nothing he can do with it, so he spends it. So he holds on to this, and he pays for that global ability, and so now he puts these 2 die in his prep area, he has 1 die in his used area, and now he decides
I will attack
what he wants to do. Now, last turn, I could have left these 2 out to try to block, but I was playing aggressively, and now it's going to come back to bite me in the butt, because he's going to do a total of 3, 4, 5 damage to me. Of course, I can't block any of them, so they're all going to go to his use pile, and that leaves me with 14 health. So we're at 14-11, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that's basically the end of his turn, and plus he'll get to roll 2 extra die again at the start of his next turn. So now it's my turn. I got to try to do something. And that's not looking too good. Okay, let's see what I have here. Alright, I have 4. Alright, I have a wild, so all I'm really going to do is spend these 4 die, and we'll buy 1 Becky Lynch.
Why does she cost 4 energy?
And that's going to go all in my used pile, and that's it. That's it for me. So I have 4 dice in my dice bag. So, okay, CJ, so you're up. So we're at 14-11.
The year in which nothing happened, I think. Wait.
That mankind will go in. That light yellow one, yeah. Okay, CJ's probably going to whop me again, because this strategy of building is working pretty good.
Uh-oh, Kane and Mankind.
Yep.
Kane, are you cheating on your brother? Yes. Okay, I will probably not use any of this energy for anything, but what I will do is I will spend this mask appropriately for Mankind to field him.
Okay.
And I will spin these 2 Mario blocks
Mm-hmm.
to put Kane on the field.
Okay.
Offensively. And this will do nothing.
Okay.
And
And
wait, hold on. Is there a global ability with the fist?
yeah. Target blocking or block superstar, so that's not going to affect you.
So I'm just going to attack.
Okay, so he's going to attack me with these 2 guys. I cannot do nothing about it. Mankind does 2, but Kane's little badass does 6. So that's 8 damage he does to me. So that is, what was I at, 14?
Yeah.
14 from 8 is 6. So now we're at, CJ's winning. He's at 11. I am at 6.
But he has Becky Lynch. And
well, we'll see. He chose not to keep anybody out here to block. We're both playing aggressively.
Still got a Mankind.
Okay, I have 4 dice in here, so all 4 dice. 11 to 6. He whopped me really good with that. Okay. This is not a great roll right here for me. I'm going to re-roll this. Alright, at least it's 1. Okay, so I can field this Sasha. She costs nothing to field. Okay. And I can spend 1 energy, which I'm going to do, to field Asuka. I can do nothing with this. I have no energy points to spend to put this on the field, so it's going to go here. So now I can attack CJ.
Or defend.
I can keep him here to defend.
I still got a Mankind in there.
He's still got a Mankind in there. So I can play risky, or I can play...
Okay.
You know what? I am going to play a little conservative. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave Sasha to block, but I will attack with Asuka, which will cause 4 damage. So
Was
now,
I on
11. So now he's 7 health. I am 6 health.
I attack with Kane, really.
The attack is 7. The score is now 7 to 6. CJ is in the lead by 1 point. And now it is CJ's turn. He had 2 dice in there, so he gets to roll these 2. So he has to take all his used dice and put it back in the dice bag. And he'll take 2 out and roll.
Oh.
Okay, so he's got a pretty good thing here. All right.
Buckle up, you're about to meet your match.
Okay, that's what he rolled.
I'm gonna re-roll this.
He's gonna re-roll Mankind. Okay. All right. Have you noticed none of his guys cost anything to put out? So he could technically put out 3 guys and have 1 lightning bolt.
But I will not do that. I will field these 3 guys.
Okay, he's gonna field them.
And the only ones that
There's really nothing he can do with this.
The only ones that'll attack you though will be Sting and this little mirror guy, because
Okay.
Mankind is more of a defense guy.
All right. So let's go over this. Now we have a block. Okay. He's going to attack me with Sting and Mankind. I mean, Sting and a sidekick. I am going to try to block with Sasha. I can choose which one I'm going to try to block. I have 3 defense. Okay. None of his guys do 3 damage to me.
Wait.
So,
wait. I could take out, but I'm not gonna.
okay, well, I'm just using this as an example here. All right, so basically what's going to happen is I'm going to block Sting. I can't block both. I can only block 1. Sting does the most damage. Okay? So he...
Wait, I'm gonna... Well, if you're doing this for example, then I won't.
Okay, we'll just use it. I'm doing it for an example because we haven't shown anything this yet. Okay? Okay, so Sting does 2 attack. I have a 3 defense. That's not enough to beat me. So what's going to happen is Sasha Banks he was not able to do 3 defense. However, let's say he attacked me with Kane here. Kane would do 6 and beat me because I only have 3 defense. So Kane would knock my die out. And anytime you get a die that gets knocked out, it goes to your prep area. Okay? And that means it'll be able to be re-rolled next turn, instead of having to put it back in the used pile and then back in the dice bag. However, since Sting did not beat me, okay, he did not beat me because he was not able to produce 3 damage, she stays in the field zone, okay? I stay there. He will go back to his field zone 2 because he was not unblocked, which we're going to go over the unblocked in a second. But since he was blocked, he just goes back into her field zone, okay? And there we go. So he's ready to go next turn. All right. So basically what happened in layman's terms is Sasha and Sting canceled each other out while this sidekick was able to sneak through. Now the sidekick was able to sneak through and does 1 damage to me. And since he was unblocked, he'll go in the used pile. So I take basically 1 damage now. So what's the score now?
5-7.
5-7. So CJ is winning 5-7. Okay? So that's basically the end of CJ's turn. And if you look at it now, he has 2 heroes fielded in his field area. I have 1, and I have no die in my dice bag. So I got to put all my die in my dice bag. And hope I can come up with something, because if I can't, even though I've been willing him away and playing aggressively, he may come back to beat me. Especially if I roll terrible. Okay, it's 4 die. I do have a Becky Lynch in there. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, I see. I'm definitely going to re-roll the Becky here. Okay, so there we go. I have these guys. Okay, this guy cost me nothing to field, so he will go to my field zone. Becky Lynch cost me 2 energy to field, so I will pay the 2 energy and will field Becky Lynch. Okay, now I have a decision to make. What do I do? What do I do? I can attack with all. I can attack with 1. I can attack with 2. Okay, I think I'm going to attack with all of them. So this is how we're going to do this. Here I put, Becky Lynch is super powerful. She does 8 damage, okay? So CJ now has a decision to make. He has 2 guys in his field area, a Sting and a Mankind. Becky Lynch will knock out either one of them. He's only going to be able to block, since he has 2 people, he's only going to be able to block 2 of my guys, okay? So he has to make a decision on which 2 to block, okay? So CJ, I want you to think about what you want to do, okay? Now, I'm going to pause it for a second, and then me and him can go over this, and then we'll see what he does. All right, CJ is a little upset. He thinks Becky Lynch is OP, and he's wanting to ban her next time we play, because for the past couple games, he's been getting his butt kicked by Becky Lynch. But she's the man.
I have an Undertaker,
yeah.
Sting.
Okay, so this is CJ's strategy. All right, this is probably the best one to do. Becky Lynch is going to get blocked by Mankind, okay? Since she has Overcrush, so any damage she does to the die that's left over is going to go straight to CJ. So since Mankind had the highest defense and she has 8 damage, she's going to knock him out. So he's going to go to the KO pile because he got knocked out. She's staying in the field zone. Now, because 5 from 8 is 3, CJ has to take 3 damage because of the Overcrush. So you are now
at 3.
No, I thought you were at 7. 7 minus 3 is 4.
I thought I was at 6.
No, I'm at 5. You were at 7 to
Okay.
5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're at 4, 5, 4. I'm winning. Then he's going to take Sting, and he's going to block Sasha Banks. Sasha does 2 damage. That is not enough to beat Sting because he has a defense of 3. So basically, these two are going to cancel each other out, and his Sting is going to go back to the field zone, and my Sasha is going to go back to the field zone. And that leaves this little old bitty sidekick unblocked with 1 damage. So he takes another damage, and now he's at 3 health.
2 health. Wait, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
3 health.
3 health. So it's 5 to 3. Okay? And so he's very upset.
If I didn't have Mankind, I would have lost there.
Yeah. But, okay, so there we go. I have 2 dice in my field zone. He has 1 die in his field zone, but he got to re-roll this because in the prep area, and it is his turn, so he gets to roll 4 die.
Okay. Finally, somebody who's not Sting.
All right. So let's see what he rolls and what he gets to do. It's not a great roll.
Wait. Okay.
Well, it depends what you want to do.
I could buy Undertaker, or no, I can't because I don't even have. I'm having the time of my life.
That was a bad roll there, too. Okay, so CJ is now stuck with this roll.
You went by default.
So he can field Mankind for free. He filled this guy for free. And so now he has 4 energy, and he has to decide what he wants to do with it. He could buy another Mankind die. He could buy another Sting die. He could spend 3 energy and do a walk with Elias where he preps those 2. Or he could buy a Money in the Bank or Jerry the King Lawler.
I don't know why you think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to live past round 2, so
So what are you going to do?
I'll buy Mankind.
So he's just going to get it all and buy Mankind. You're not going to buy a Sting and then prep the other 2? I would have done that. I would have bought the Sting and then prep these 2.
Alright.
Okay. So now, he's not in a bad position. He has 3 blockers. Alright. I do have Becky Lynch in the field zone. It's already fielded. I have 4 die. Let's see what I have here. I have a Sasha Banks. Okay. So Sasha Banks is not going to cost me anything to field, so I will field Sasha Banks.
That, right?
No. Then let's see what else I got to do here. I have let's see here. I could buy an Asuka. I could buy an Asuka. I could buy a Becky Lynch. No, just kidding. I gotta buy a Sasha. I could use this global ability. So, pay a shield. So, if I spent these 2, I could because it's wild, to buy a Sasha Banks, and then pay the shield, I could put that Sasha in my prep area instead of my used pile. And then, I don't have Fizz targets blocked or blocking superstars, deal double damage, uses ability only once per turn. And then once per turn, you may prep 2 die. Not really 2 great die to prep. So, or I will buy an Alexa Bliss. I think I'm going to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this.
You bought a Charlotte Flair.
No, I have not been able to buy a Charlotte Flair yet. It sucks.
It was bad, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to spin these 2. I have a wild and buy Sasha Banks. Then I'm going to spin this for this global effect to be the first die you purchase this turn is added to your prep area. So this goes straight to my prep area. And now I have a decision. What to do, what to do. Alright, so I think I will attack. What's the score? What is it? Don't you have 3 health?
Yeah.
5-3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5-3. Okay, so I'm going to attack with those
I
two.
lose.
Okay. He's going to attack or block. Okay. Now, CJ probably wants to use his highest defense, Mankind, to block Becky.
Doesn't she have overcast?
She has, but we're going to still go. Okay. So let's say he has these. We're going to go for turn. I do 1 damage with this die. Okay. This is going to knock this die. This is not going to knock this die out. Okay. What they're going to do is they're going to cancel each other. So basically, I attacked with this Sasha because he chose to block that Sasha with this guy. And they're going to cancel each other out. And basically, they don't have enough damage to KO each other. So they're going to the prep area. Because he does 1 damage, she does 1 damage. Well, actually, she will KO that because he has 1 defense. She has 3. So she KOs him. She will go back to the prep field zone. This guy gets KO'd and he goes to CJ's prep area. Then we have Sasha Banks attacking Sting. She does 2 damage. He has a 3 defense. So they will basically cancel each other out because she does not have enough damage to take him out. So they will cancel each other out. She will go back to the field zone. Sting will go to his field zone. Then we have the game decider right here, and that's Becky Lynch. She attacks for 8. He has a defense of 4. So she's going to do 4 damage on him, knock him out. He gets knocked out. She has overcrushability, which means the leftover 4 damage that she does is going to go directly to CJ. CJ has 3 health, correct? And so he has been defeated. And I would still, even if he had 1 health point left, she would still go back to the field area. And then you're looking at maybe he could have might have done something this past turn, but I won.
Becky Lynch is permanently banned.
Yeah, Becky Lynch is permanently banned. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 more round. CJ is going to roll all the dice that he can, and then we're going to see what he gets and see if he can make a decent attack move because I want to show you something from his attack move. So he's got Sting in his prep area, his field zone. He gets to roll these 4 dice right here, plus the 4 die. He only has 4 die in his bag, so he gets to roll these 4 dice. So roll all these and decide what you want to do. Go on, let him roll them. Okay. That was a horrible roll. So you get a re-roll. So pick which ones you want to re-roll.
All of them.
Sure?
Yeah.
I want to re-roll the sidekick. I would have kept the sidekick.
I might get more sidekicks. That's fine.
Okay. Well, he got 2 Mankind, and they cost 0 to field. So he's going to put them out. Okay. So now you can decide what you're going to do with these. And it looks like
buy an Undertaker.
You could buy an Undertaker. And that's probably what he would have did.
And if I didn't have this thing, I wouldn't have even gotten him because he is.
Uh-huh. So he spends all this die and he buys an Undertaker. Now he has a decision to make. Will he attack? Or will he keep them there to defend?
Well, since Becky Lynch has a defense of 8,
right,
and an offense of
so let's say CJ were to attack.
She cost 8.
He's going to attack me. Okay? I have these 3 guys. It would be futile, kind of for the most part, for him to attack me. Okay? Now, he would decide, okay, what he would use to attack. So probably for his best strategy would be, he only does 1 damage. There is no way he could beat this mankind die can beat anybody. So let's say he attacks the weakest one of these. Okay, and they just basically cancel each other out. Alright. He has a 2 attack. He would attack against Becky, who has 8 defense. It's not enough to beat her. So basically, they would cancel each other out. And then the Sting would attack. Has 3 defense. He's not enough to beat it. So basically, they would cancel each other out. So unless CJ had some kind of ability he could have used, which he really didn't have one, ability he could use, it would have kind of been foolish for him to attack, because basically all they would have done was cancel each other out, and he could have just fielded them and just leave them there to block for me to attack next turn. But that is Dice Masters. We didn't use a lot of abilities. We didn't even buy one of these dice right here. Now, you know my thoughts on the game, but predisposition about the bad rule book and the cheaping out on the dice.
Becky Lynch.
Cheaping out on the dice for the same. I like this game. I don't know how the superhero versions play. I imagine they kind of play the same. I like the wrestlers. I imagine I would like the superhero, especially the Marvel. I think some of the rules are very convoluted, and it gets to a point where you have a hard time keeping up with a lot of, not just your card abilities, but you have to keep up with global abilities, and it's very easy to miss those. And it's very easy to miss a rule thing here or there, or to mess something up from time to time. However, that being said, I do find this game to be fun. Now, CJ, Becky Lynch was standing. You've played about 5-6 games of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Overall, and you've never played Dice Masters before, and CJ isn't a big wrestling fan. I mean, he knows who some of them are. He likes some of them, but he's not a diehard wrestling fan. What are your overall thoughts on this game?
I think it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun if you know what you're doing, I feel like. And it does involve a little bit too much strategy, unless you're playing it big much. Pure luck.
Yes, there is a luck factor to it, but you can mitigate that with the rerolls.
Of course there's going to be a luck factor with it. It's a dice game.
Right.
I like some of the wrestlers they went with. I feel like they could have added a few more.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently 76 dice is too much.
Would you okay, let me ask you this. Let's say you had a bunch of extra money to buy. Would you, and you were at a game store and you saw Dice Masters on the shelf, would you buy it?
I mean, it wouldn't pique my interest, but if I knew that it was going to be like this, then yeah.
No, let's say you've played. Let's say you didn't live with me. Let's say I was your buddy, your friend from school, and I came over to spend the night, and I brought this game with me, and we played it. And then, you played it a couple times with him. Then he leaves, and, you decide, man, I kind of like to play that on my own without having to have my friend come spend the night on a weekend or something like that. So you go to the game store, and then you see the game on the shelf. Would you spend the money to buy it?
Didn't you say it was like $30?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Probably not.
Let's say you had a lot of money. Let's say you had $500 in your pocket. Would you still just walk past it and ignore it? Or would you say, okay, well, I got some extra money. I had fun playing it. Was it fun enough for you to think about, if I had the extra money to buy this game, I would buy this game?
That's a tough question, but probably... Yeah.
Yeah?
even though you have to buy the game twice to get the full experience, I
Okay.
still think that it's a lot for $30. Oh, yeah. And yeah, sure.
And you still have fun playing it, right?
Yeah.
Now you've won several games, haven't you? Me, you, and your and Jeffrey have played. You won a couple games, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you've had fun playing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, so you would spend the money if you had the extra money and you saw it at a game store, and you've already played it a couple times and you've liked it, and you would spend the extra money to buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that.
Do you have a preference? Like, let's say you saw there's the WWE, there's the Marvel Comics, there's the DC Comics, there's a Star Wars. Which one would you think you would buy?
I feel like the DC and maybe the Star Wars ones would be too complex, but the Marvel one, yeah.
No, let's say they all had the same rules.
Okay.
It's just different
probably
characters.
Marvel.
Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. As far as my thoughts go for it, it is a two-player game. Okay? So, there's that.
I feel like there's better board games for like $20, $10,
Right.
$15. Or this isn't a board game. This is a card game, a dice game,
Mm-hmm.
if you will. But it's still really fun for being so simple on the surface yet complex in the inside.
Okay.
With the rules and all that.
This is a two-player game. There's a lot of dice chucking. It does fit the WWE theme. I mean, Becky Lynch does feel like the man. I mean, when you have Kane and Undertaker together and they do the Brothers of Destruction, they're really strong. So it does feel a lot of the wrestling motifs to it, if you like that. I'm sure the Marvel one probably feels the same way. However, like I said, I will not buy any more of these products until they decide to quit doing that underhanded deal to where they make you buy 2 starter packs to have all the dice. I think that's wrong. I think you should just charge you $5 more or something like that and just give us the rest of the dice and have somebody else write the rules. Do a better rule book example because the rules are terrible. I had to read them and reread them. Jeffrey had to read them and reread them. We were constantly going back. Certain keywords weren't in there, and then certain things we were trying to look for. It says, hey, you need to look on the website. I think that's very ridiculous. I don't know if that is with just this set. Maybe the other sets have better instructions. The dice are okay. The card quality, the card pictures are okay. These little paper mats, well, they do their purpose. I'm not going out and buying a play mat. Bags are alright. I mean, I could tear it if I wanted to, but it does require a little effort to tear. I'm a little curious as to why certain wrestlers aren't in here.
Like Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, or
I mean, Hulk Hogan should have been in here. Andre the Giant should have been in here.
the Hero Clicks.
Yeah, you know, a few others I can name. Vince McMahon should have been a playable guy. Hell, you could have put Shane McMahon. They were just, they do cover a spectrum from current wrestlers like the New Day and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to the Attitude Era to WCW stuff and
World Order.
And to even the 80s with like Bret the Hitman Hart and Macho Man. But I did have fun. I mean, for $30, I had fun with it. I think it's good. But like I said, I won't support it anymore unless they come out with quit doing that. If they come out with any more expansion packs, though, I might be tempted. I don't know. I might be tempted to do it. But the expansion packs better come with 4 dice per person. If they don't, I'm not buying it. That said, that's Dice Masters. As far as the Dice Master system goes, it's not going to be for everybody. This is something I'm not going to get into and go like buy the Marvel and buy even, let's say even they did include all the dice and I wasn't upset about it and I said, boy, I really like the WWE. Let me go buy the Marvel and the DC. I'm not going to do that. It's just dice chucking and doing this. It's a fun game. It's a good travel game. The way you can set up, you take it with you when you're on a trip and play around with it and stuff like that. Anything else you want to add to it? No? What?
If you're making up a woman build, then skip Becky Lynch, you put in Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That's important.
Okay. Betsy Lynch does, well, she is the man, so a little overpowered.
Cost less than Undertaker and just somehow still power.
Well, that's because I kept rolling her on her good stuff, but man, she does, you know. I basically rolled the 6 on her every time. So there's that.
That's like getting all the keys at the start of the game in Nightmare.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. And you know what? We probably did make a few mistakes. We've only played this game, we hadn't even played it 10 times, and some of the rules are convoluted. So if we did make some mistakes, hey, I'm sorry about that. But I think for the most part, we got it right. And this is Dice Masters. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next time. Until then, have fun.